It's quarterfinal Wednesday in Kansas City. 8 teams remain playing for a red banner on Saturday night. Only 4 will be standing when we go to bed tonight. The 6th-seeded Tougaloo Bulldogs and the #1 overall seed College of Idaho Yotes back at it in KC today for our first quarterfinal. Tougaloo came from behind to beat St. Thomas in a 6-against-10 matchup. Our first game of the day all the way back on Monday. Cameron Copeland came off the bench with 20 points, the majority of them in the second half. He really dominated for the Bulldogs down the stretch, who trailed by as many as 9 after the break, but won anyway, in the end pretty comfortably. College of Idaho trailed technically by 6 in the early minutes. Didn't trail by much after that, in large part thanks to Charles Elsie, but it was an all-around domination from the Yotes in their game on Monday afternoon. They rolled by 48 points over LSU Shreveport. 98-50 was the final score. The unanimous #1 team in the final NAIA Coaches Poll, 33-1. They lost their first game of the season. They have won 33 in a row since, and playing like the #1 overall seed in Kansas City so far. Tougaloo, 32-1, 14-0 in the conference GCAC. So these two teams combined will have won 65 games this year. They've lost 2, and neither of them has lost a game in conference play. Both their regular season and tournament champions, Tougaloo in the GCAC and College of Idaho in the Cascade Conference. Tougaloo has the same starting 5, with the exception of, unsurprisingly, Copeland getting swapped into the starting lineup for 4th-year head coach Eric Struthers. Tougaloo looking for a 21st straight win today. College of Idaho looking for a 34th in a row. For the Bulldogs, it's Copeland, Andre Brunt, Trajan Fielder, Darius Henyard, and Daryl Jones. For College of Idaho, it is the same 5. Caden Handrad, Charles Elsie, Tyler Robinette, Jake O'Neill, and Drew Wyman. Wyman looked like he got the majority of the ball on the tip, but it's won by Tougaloo, and Fielder streaks in for the early layup. A bucket only 5 seconds in. Fielder was limited to just 4 points for Tougaloo in the win for the Bulldogs in the round of 16. Wyman for 3, well short. Robinette had a hand on the rebound, but Fielder corrals it. Copeland, the leading scorer for the Bulldogs, Fielder second. Copeland kicks to Fielder. Tougaloo in the sharp black uniforms, breaking those out for the first time in KC. Brunt on the baseline, inside Henyard, tried to slip it through to Jones. It's tipped out of bounds. College of Idaho getting a chance to show the zone for the first time after that quick bucket for Tougaloo to start things. Copeland off front iron. Brunt has the rebound. Another chance for the Bulldogs. Early lead for Tougaloo. Shot clock running down. Daryl Jones turns, didn't get the roll, and O'Neill has the rebound. Jones got off to a slow start as well on Monday, but in the end came on really strong. Wyman slips it to Robinette, who scores over Jones, and we're even. Might be a good thing for the Yotes they conceded the first bucket, because so far we've played 8 games in Kansas City. The winning team has trailed in every single one. At least briefly, at least early. Even College of Idaho was down by 6, 2.5 minutes in against Shreveport before winning by 48 points on Monday afternoon. Henyard, he was good in the first half Monday, but off the heel. Another rebound for O'Neill, and here comes the highlighted Charles Elsie, 3 in white. Robinette, 5 points early for Tyler Robinette. Big cheering section here for the Yotes in Kansas City. And Robinette give them something to enjoy in the first couple of minutes. The winner of this game will advance to the Fab Four Friday night as the winner of the Naismith Quadrant. Fielder out of the corner. Weak side rebound grab by Brunt. Jones on Robinette, spins to the baseline, in a crowd, comes back down with it, but the officials said it was loose, and he brought it back in to score. No travel, no held ball. Robinette drawing Jones all the way out to the perimeter. Elzy on the curl. Rebound just hung on the rim. That threw off Henyard's timing and allowed O'Neal to go up and get it. Jake O'Neal attacks through contact. On the weak side, Wyman for the stick back. How do you stop everybody? That's the conundrum facing Eric Struthers and any other coach that comes up against the #1 team in the country. The only loss for the Yotes was in the very first game of the year that they played, all the way back on November 4th against Arizona Christian. Fielder out of the corner again, and Wyman has this board. Arizona Christian is one of the other #1 seeds. 3 out of the 4 #1s still standing here in the quarterfinals. O'Neal underneath, this time connects. All 4 of them came to Kansas City, but William Penn was upset by Montana Tech, continuing the trend of the statesmen struggling here in KC. Front, extra pass, Copeland, triple. Wyman has it. 3 rebounds already for both O'Neal and Wyman. Wyman looking for the back, cutting O'Neal, but it's turned over, the first for either team today. Copeland coast to coast, and he's fouled. First whistle, just over 4 minutes played in this first half with Tougaloo down 5 going to the line. Eric Struthers in his 4th season, leading the way for the Bulldogs. They put together a really good season. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do on the backboards, because the College of Idaho generally a very good rebounding team, and they dominated Shreveport there and everywhere else on Monday. But Tougaloo is one of the best rebounding teams in the NAIA by margin. So they, on average, out-rebound their opponents by almost 10 per game this year. That's 8th best in the country. So far, they're -3 on the backboards. Yotes making their early changes in mass, although only 3 in and 3 out. Paul Wilson is going to wait a little bit longer to come on for the first time. Kobe Blaine, the 5th-year head coach of the Yotes, went with 4 in and 4 out with his changes typically, and now Wilson is going to come to the scorer's table. But Samaje Morgan is on, along with Stratton Rogers and Johnny Radford. Robinette's pass tipped away out of bounds by Copeland. It illustrates, though, just how deep the Yotes are and how balanced that Johnny Radford had almost 14 points a game, sophomore from Haley, Idaho, number 5 in white there on the right block, comes off the bench. Wilson now is on for Robinette, so O'Neal the only starter remaining out there, and O'Neal the recipient of the good baseline feed from Morgan. 4 points for O'Neal and a 6-point lead for the Yotes. Looking comfortable already. Antoine Beans, who started on Monday, is on for Tougaloo along with Cameron Woodall. So too Antonio Patterson in there. Patterson was really good in the second half. Wilson a little late to get set on that screen, but the officials didn't call it, and Morgan pulls up for 2. Samaje Morgan was impressive as well. True freshman from Eugene, Oregon, averages just under 9 a game. You can see the effectiveness of this zone, though. Tougaloo didn't get inside the arc until the shot clock was down to 12. Patterson still taking a contested shot over the 7-foot Wilson, but he gets it to go off back iron. We talked about this on Monday, but the scary thing, or the scariest thing among many other scary things about the College of Idaho, is that not a single player in the rotation is a senior. Not one. O'Neal couldn't get it. Stratton Rogers has had a lid on the basket. One of the NAIA's most efficient scorers. Andre Brunt for 3. Rebounded by Wilson. Rogers was shooting 70% for the year. Top 5 in the NAIA coming in, and then he was the only player who appeared for the Yotes, at least among the core rotation guys before true garbage time, who did not score. And a foul called away for the ball against Tougaloo. The first foul on the Bulldogs. So we are off and running for the quarterfinals here on Wednesday. Good start for Tougaloo, but the Yotes have seized control. College of Idaho up 6 after 6. College of Idaho up by 6 with 6 minutes gone by in the first of 4 quarterfinal games on what is really the best day of the NAIA tournament here in Kansas City. We'll be with you all day long again, as we have been the last couple of days. We'll have Montana Tech and OUAZ coming up next. The winner of that game will play the winner of this one, and then we'll move to the other side of the bracket with Grayson, Georgetown, and Arizona Christian Indiana Tech still to follow. Look at that, Fielder right out of the timeout the other way, counted plus the foul. Kobe Blaine looked completely shocked at what transpired. Let's get another look at that play. A rare sloppy Yotes turnover, and Fielder raced the other way, and then Radford a little bit overly aggressive, just getting into his space, and whistle for the foul. Oh man. I don't think that's how he wanted it to go. So Trajan Fielder, who was so quiet on Monday, had just 4 points, even in the win for Tougaloo, has 5 already in the first 6 and change of this quarterfinal game. Obviously, everybody's good when you get to this stage, but I can't think, even in this tournament, even at this stage, Rogers backdoor and it sails out of bounds. Back-to-back Yotes turnovers. I can't think that too often 2 teams with 20-plus game winning streaks have met here in Kansas City. 20 straight for Tougaloo, 33 in a row for College of Idaho. Yet neither undefeated. Combined 65 and 2. Woodall spins on Wilson, not a lot of room down there. Repost. 5 to shoot, bangs through Wilson and scores. 5 straight for Tougaloo out of the timeout. College of Idaho lead down to 1. Four bench guys out there along with Caden Handran, who is not one of the bigger scorers. He's more of a facilitator for this team. Morgan has it knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay at this end with the Yotes. Still 10 on the timer. Tougaloo going back to the bench. Darian Pierce Jr., a junior from White Castle, Louisiana, is on. I don't think we saw Pierce at all. He did not appear on Monday. Radford came open, missed it badly. Handran able to keep it alive. They say the shot did not hit the rim. Wilson had to get that one up, and it rolls home. Paul Wilson, 7-footer from Idaho Falls, averages 5 and 4. He had some good minutes for College of Idaho on Monday. Played 12 minutes, had 7 rebounds, couple of assists, 3 blocks. The other end, an immediate answer from Patterson. He was good as well. He went for 10 and 6 on Monday afternoon. Radford 3, rims out, Woodall the rebound. Only 2 threes have gone down for these 2 teams combined so far. Patterson has the only one for Tougaloo on 6 tries, and that tied the game. Patterson sets and hits. Antonio Patterson has 7 points. He has not missed, and Tougaloo has the lead. Wilson in the middle. Radford 3 goes down. Eric Struthers beside himself on the Tougaloo bench. Something about how the Bulldogs were playing that possession didn't sit right with him. And Radford has that quick release. The ball, it's almost like he's a big man catching the ball in the interior. He never really drops it at all as he loads up for the shot. He just goes straight up and rattled in the triple to put College of Idaho back in front. Beams spins past Morgan on the baseline. Patterson. Antonio Patterson's doing it all on his own. 9 points for 0 in black. Morgan wanted it. Closed out by Beams. Slips it underneath to Rogers, who just cannot score in Kansas City. The lid on the basket for Stratton Rogers, but how about Antonio Patterson? The only 3 of the game for Tougaloo so far, and back-to-back buckets, the mid-level, and then he goes inside. 3 3 straight possessions. Patterson scores on all 3 levels. He has 9 points. He has hit all 4 of his shots from the field, and Tougaloo has an improbable lead. The Yotes have gone back to 3 starters. LZ, Wyman, and Robinette all back on. Radford, the only bench player on the floor for the moment for the Yotes. Patterson took a tumble. Got to get something up, and that is short from Pierce. Robinette kicks it out. LZ 3. Rebounded high up in the air by Woodall. Better ball movement from College of Idaho. I think against the starters, playing this sort of soft zone look Tougaloo is going to be a lot more dangerous. Live ball turnover. Look at this. It's 5-on-2. LZ Euro step. No call. Wyman the follow. And they're going to now call the block. That's unfortunate for the Yotes. It's a bit of a late whistle on the blocking foul. I think probably the right call. But now LZ's going to have to earn 2 at the free throw line instead of Wyman's follow-up that had already dropped through the net. Tougaloo, though, a good passage of play. Bulldogs up 1. The winner of this game will win the Naismith Quadrant and advance to the Fab Four Friday night for a 5 o'clock Central Time tip against the winner of 4th seeded Montana Tech and number 7 OUAZ, the lowest remaining seed in the field. Later on tonight, Grace and Georgetown, Arizona Christian and Indiana Tech in the more predictable side of the bracket with 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. And those 2 winners will advance for the second game of our Fab Four Friday, and then Saturday night on ESPN 3 at 7 Central. We will hand out the Red Banner National Championship game here at Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City. Hope you've joined us for some of the exciting action the last couple of days as we sorted out the round of 16, and now kicking off the quarterfinals today. Charles Elzy at the free throw line for 2. Highlighted him at the outset. He had those 25 points to lead the Yotes in their 98-50 win over LSU Shreveport on Monday. Only averages about 10 a game, the junior from Tacoma, Washington, but it was his day. 75% foul shooter, and he gets both, thankfully, too, because he would have felt for the Yotes had they lost any points off of that foul call, because had the foul not been called, Lyman had a free 2 that he had already put in the bucket. Still 4 starters for College of Idaho, along with Johnny Radford, the leading scorer off the bench. Here's Darius Henyard, challenged by Robinette, and it's knocked out by Robinette. We'll stay with Tougaloo with 10 on the timer. You wonder if this might be the first time that Kobe Blaine is not able to go as deep into his bench for as many minutes, because the game really changed when the Yotes had 4 substitutes on the floor. Especially at the offensive end, they were not able to move the ball and break down Tougaloo as easily as the Yotes have on these last couple possessions with the starters. Ball still loose, eventually handled by Copeland, but it was knocked out of his hands by LZ, and then he fouled O'Neal. Wyman elevates and scores. The Yotes are just getting into the middle of that defense so much more easily with this group. They're moving the ball very quickly, crisply, efficiently. And it's not unusual at this stage for NAIA teams to really ride their starters hard. Not necessarily the Yotes MO. Brunt off the mark. O'Neal able to poke the rebound away. Henyard got into Robinette. Some physical action in both of those contests. Jones was a little bit into the back of O'Neal. Here he goes up over Robinette, and Wyman snatches the board, his 5th. LZ goes over Jones, offensive foul. That was an easy call, sloppy from Charles LZ. Picks up his 2nd personal foul already. And he's going to come off. Only 3 fouls called against College of Idaho in the first 12 minutes. Only 6 fouls total. But LZ is the first man with 2. So he checks out. And Caden Handren is back on, along with Samaje Morgan. Jones works on Wyman, has the size advantage. Henyard cut off by Robinette, and Morgan has a steal. 2-on-1 with Handren, has to get it right. Perfect pass for the lefty finish. College of Idaho lead has grown back to 5. The Yotes have led by as many as 6. But Tougaloo has not looked rattled. And if the Bulldogs hit a couple more three-pointers, they've had some good looks that haven't gone down. Things could change. They're just 1 of 9 from three-point range. Generally a pretty good three-point shooting team. Jones works in on Robinette, goes up over him and scores. Daryl Jones has 4. I wonder how long Antonio Patterson will be sitting on the Tougaloo bench as well. I think he might have just come to the scorers table thinking he's going to get ready to check in. O'Neal on the baseline, tough reverse, and he spins it home off glass. What a finish by Jake O'Neal. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for O'Neal already. Jones given a lot of space, couldn't get the floater. That's a shot he might have to make. He just backed off of him even from 12 feet. Morgan wide open. Goes underneath to Robinette, turns into Jones, has it swatted. Handren saves it to O'Neal. That was probably going to be Yotes basketball, but Caden Handren saw an opportunity. And Jake O'Neal has 8 points to give College of Idaho its largest advantage of the day. A 10-2 run for the Yotes, now up 7. Cameron Copeland hasn't done much. I feel like yep, there he goes. You could feel that coming, and he might want to just hoist one. This is 4-on-2 if they hurry. Robinette slipped it around Copeland. What a play by Tyler Robinette. That should have been a charge. He somehow avoided Copeland with his body and with a basketball on opposite sides. And O'Neal, the grateful recipient of another bucket. 10 points for Jake O'Neal. He's the first man into double figures. College of Idaho has 10 assists on 13 made baskets. Look at this finish by O'Neal. He took off outside the lane and finished on the other side. Robinette the bucket over Jones, or rather Handren the save to O'Neal, and then Robinette in transition. Look at this pass. Oh my goodness. He went to the left of Copeland, the ball went to the right, and O'Neal laid it up and in. 10 assists on 13 made field goals for the Yotes. You certainly hope, and Tougaloo could still be that team, you hope that there will be competition to really push College of Idaho here in Kansas City, because LSU Shreveport was not that team. Whether Tougaloo is that team remains to be seen. Certainly the Bulldogs have put up more of a fight as they've taken these early punches than the Pilots did on Monday. At the same time, when the Yotes are playing their game and getting out and running and moving the ball as well as they do, it is beautiful basketball. And especially yesterday, we did not see a ton of beautiful basketball. Doesn't have to be beautiful to be exciting. Fielder 3 off the heel, Patterson. Oh my goodness, Antonio Patterson. He has 11 points. He's made all 5 shots from the field. Took a while to get him back in off the bench, but I'm not sure he's going to be playing, spending too much more time on the bench the rest of this game the way he's going right now. Rogers skip pass. O'Neal wants a triple. Left it short. Chance for Tougaloo to put a couple of baskets together in a row. Copeland, fielder. Woodall over Robinette, and he's fouled. Antonio Patterson was way up for this putback. Look at where he grabbed that basketball. Wow. That is something. He's grabbing it, and the ball is still at the top of the square. His fingers have to be, what, 11.5 feet off the ground there? That's impressive. Perfect timing by Patterson and the finish. It's a 7-point lead for College of Idaho. Free throws coming for Tougaloo after this. lot of young kids out in the game today. They bring a bunch of elementary school and middle school kids out here on field trips the NAIA does for these day games through the Champions of Character program. The kids get to be down in essentially the basement of the arena doing a bunch of programming that the NAIA has. You can see them there in the background behind Woodall at the other end. Getting to learn about the 5 core values of the NAIA. And then they get to watch a little bit of NAIA quarterfinal basketball. Not a bad day. Beats math. So Woodall 0 for 2 at the stripe. Tougaloo just not shooting the ball well so far. That's a big part of the reason for this deficit. The other is how efficient College of Idaho has been at this end. The ball movement. Tougaloo is just scrambling by the middle part of the shot clock on a lot of these possessions. Morgan inside Wilson. O'Neal on the offensive glass. Jake O'Neal has 12 points and 7 rebounds. We're only 16 minutes in. 9-point advantage for the Yotes. Here's Antonio Patterson, who's been the only one shooting well for Tougaloo. That's his first miss. And Morgan comes the other way. Yotes get out so quickly on the break. Morgan got caught in the air. O'Neal open for 3. Yes! It's all Jake O'Neal, 15 points, and he gives the Yotes their first double-digit advantage. Fielder, pass tipped, in the air, hand ran the other way. He's looking at Rogers, goes instead to Morgan. Double teamed. O'Neal thought about another one. Rogers short corner. O'Neal steps in. He is hit, no call, there it is. Had to be a foul on Patterson. Still somehow Rogers spinning around, or O'Neal I should say, spinning around after taking that contact. Almost got it to go, he hit the rim. It's just all Jake O'Neal right now. That's a physical rebound. Sort of, we talked about Patterson doing it inside and outside. Physical rebound and putback, and then the ability to hit the three-pointer. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Make it 16 points and counting for Jake O'Neal, a 70% free throw shooter, sophomore from Fruitland, Idaho. Handren checks out. Johnny Radford back on for the Yotes. 13-point lead. O'Neal misses, gets his own rebound, couldn't score. That would have been too much. As it is, they tie up Patterson, but a foul. O'Neal managed to get his own miss on the free throw, just couldn't get the layup. And he's getting a big hand as he checks out. What a first half for Jake O'Neal. College of Idaho up by 13 with 3 and change to go. Mentioned Tougaloo just hasn't shot well. The Bulldogs are 1 of 11 from 3 and 2 of 5 at the free throw line. They haven't been bad. Only 3 turnovers. They have been out-rebounded by 9 in the first half, which is not typical for them. Copeland, good look. Rebounded by Wilson. Those are the shots, though. I mean, those are not bad looks. It's sort of what we talked about with Jamestown yesterday. That they're getting good looks, and if they don't go in, you know, what else can you do? That's a shot that Cameron Copeland has to take just about every time, especially with the Yotes playing the zone. You hit 2 or 3 of those, and all of a sudden you can force them to make changes defensively. Copeland, again, off the heel, rebounded by Morgan. Just nothing going for Cameron Copeland after his 20 points on Monday in the Tougaloo win. He is 0 for 5 so far, all on 3-pointers this afternoon. Wyman deep 3. He gets his own miss. Patterson just didn't block out at all. He was almost standing out of bounds. And this is one of those things we saw from LSU Shreveport in the first half. When you get behind and the Yotes just keep coming at you, it's hard to remain disciplined then. And those sorts of mistakes can be really costly. They got a miss. They should have been out the other way. Instead, College of Idaho gets a second chance. This time, Patterson tracks down the rebound. Patterson works it on Wyman, tied up for a moment, and a help ball. Possession arrow favors College of Idaho, so the Yotes get it back with $1:37 to go. Andrew back on. Morgan out. Gotta love a guy like Caden Andrew, too, who just does not fill up the box score, doesn't feel the need to. But he spends a lot of time with the ball in his hands and picks a lot of these passes for the Yotes. Stratton Rogers, finally, his first points in Kansas City. That must be a weight off his shoulders. Just 2 points the last 5.5 minutes for Tougaloo. The lead is 15 now for the Yotes. Ooh, that's an impressive bounce pass by Beans. Patterson was completely surrounded by 3 white jerseys. Wyman on the run. Rogers make it Radford for 3, and it's an 18-point lead for College of Idaho. Johnny Radford starting to get a little more comfortable. He did not shoot well by his standards on Monday, but he's hit a couple of threes in the first half today. Patterson in traffic. Rogers rebound, surrounded by 3 black jerseys, and it's just creating opportunities for College of Idaho to get out of the secondary break. That's one of the other things we saw, is the way guys will just surround defensive rebounders after the rebound when they're frustrated trying to get a cheap turnover. Maybe you get one in a blue moon, but more often you're just outnumbered going the other direction. Wyman step back to the foul line. Rebounded by Woodall, 10 seconds. Fielder on the run, it's too far in front of him. Unlucky mistake for Tougaloo. Not a bad idea, but a risky one, because now College of Idaho still has 8 seconds to get a final shot up. Samaje Morgan back in for Wilson. Hendren goes out. Elzion and Robinette back in for Rogers. It's a small, quick 5 on the floor for Kobe Blaine. Here comes Morgan. Morgan to the baseline, all the way in. Adjusts and scores. Samaje Morgan just before the horn, and College of Idaho leads by 20 at halftime. Can you believe the Yotes? A 48-point win on Monday. They trailed this game around the midway point of the first half, and they lead by 20 at the break. The #1 overall seed looks virtually unbeatable, and Eric Struthers has a lot of work to do with his Bulldogs at halftime. We'll take a break and return to look at the first half stats, get you ready for the final 20 minutes. Game 1 of 4 on quarterfinal Wednesday here in Kansas City. Yotes up 43-23 at the break. College of Idaho, after trailing a couple of times to Tougaloo, not by much in the first half, just ran away with it in the latter stages of the opening segment, and it's a 20-point lead for the Yotes at the break, really dominating in every facet. That doesn't mean it was all bad for Tougaloo. Antonio Patterson came off the bench, hit his first 5 shots. He had 11 points in the first half to easily lead the Bulldogs to almost half of their total scoring. Meanwhile, for College of Idaho, normally a very balanced attack, a lot more concentrated in the starting lineup, particularly in Jake O'Neal. 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists for O'Neal in the first half. He was 7 of 11 from the field. He made a 3. He split his 2 free throws. Could have probably had 20 points if he got a couple of those back, but what a phenomenal first half for O'Neal. Sophomore from Fruitland, Idaho, averages 10.5 a game when he got here to Kansas City. That number is on the rise. Fielder turns off the mark, rebounded by Jones, goes back up, left it short, and tie up with Henyard and O'Neal. And College of Idaho gets it. The Yotes got out to a 98-50 win on Monday over LSU Shreveport. We'll see if this one stretches out similarly. O'Neal fall away. Rebounded by Henyard. I'd be surprised if it gets anywhere close to that, just considering the resistance Tougaloo has shown already. But it's going to be a tall task for the Bulldogs if they don't start hitting threes at a much higher rate than they did in the first half, when they were 1 for 13. That's 7%. Copeland, 1 for 14. And Cameron Copeland, you don't want to single him out because I don't think he's taking bad shots, but Cameron Copeland, much like Mason Walters was the face of Jamestown's struggles to shoot yesterday, is the face of Tougaloo's struggles shooting so far today. He is 0 for 6. All from 3-point range. He has 1 point at the free throw line. That's after he went for 20 on Monday. And he just sort of has to shoot his way out of it. Copeland in the paint. No sir. Nothing for either team past the opening minute of the second half. LZ steps in for 2. He had a quiet first half after his 25 points on Monday. He has 4 now, in part because he picked up a couple of fouls, so didn't play quite as many minutes as he otherwise might have in that first half. Henyard on Robinette. Jabs to the baseline, fall away from 10, rebounded by Wyman. He has 9 boards to go with 4 points and 4 assists. Wyman wants the 3. Good block out by Copeland on O'Neal, who's been a pest on the glass as well. Jones comes away with it for Tougaloo. How about that 21-2 run? The 21 is impressive. I think the 2 is more impressive. 2 points for the Bulldogs in 9 minutes. Henyard, nice little Euro, split the double, but couldn't get it to go. Wyman, Robinette, open 3. Tyler Robinette, second 3-pointer. Copeland doubled. Fielder has the numbers advantage and cannot score. Another good look. You wonder why the Yotes doubled that way. And you maybe want to get the ball out of Copeland's hands, but that created an opportunity. Doesn't matter. Robinette the dunk at the other end. Timeout Tougaloo. College of Idaho has scored all 7 points in the opening 3 minutes of the second half. 26-2 run for the Yotes. They lead by 27 points. How about it? LZ, no look. Robinette knows what to do. 50-23. Again, same old Yotes. Won by 48 on Monday. They're up 27 with 17 minutes still to go against Tougaloo in our first quarterfinal today. Who is going to put up the resistance? I think that's the question. Is it going to be in the Fab Four, assuming no miracle comeback for Tougaloo, where they would face the winner of 4th-seeded Montana Tech and 7th-seeded OUAZ? Maybe if Montana Tech weren't down its leading scorer, it would be more of a conversation. On the other side, there are 2 1-seeds left, Grace and Arizona Christian. Indiana Tech, I don't know, looked like they'd be up to the task. Georgetown maybe got the experience of the big stage, although none of the current players have played here in Kansas City before this year. Copeland rising fire. Wyman up for the rebound. It's knocked out by O'Neal, and Tougaloo will keep it. Copeland again. This will not go for him. Brunt tries. No. 3 3-pointers on this possession for Tougaloo. None of them have gone down. Copeland is 0 for 7. Tougaloo is 1 for 17. Tougaloo goes to the full court pressure. A lob for Elsie. He's got away from him. And O'Neal on the following offensive foul. That's his second and the first against either team so far in the second half. College of Idaho putting on a little pressure of its own, maybe just to try to slow Tougaloo down. I don't know that I'd be changing anything if I were the Yotes. Intercepted by Wyman. Sort of a dangerous pass for Handren, but it works its way back to Wyman for another bucket. 16 assists on 21 made field goals for College of Idaho. Wyman has 6 points. And there is finally another bucket for Tougaloo. Fielder gets inside. Still a 28-4 run, but it snaps a string of more than 10.5 minutes with only 2 points for Tougaloo. Handren doubled. Wyman, O'Neal on the backside. Reverse wouldn't go, but a foul. And that's where Tougaloo doesn't have a whole lot of choice at this point, down by 27 with 15 3/4 to go in the game. So you can understand Eric Struthers wanting to go to that kind of pressure. On the other hand, of all teams, I'm not sure you really want to pressure to that degree. You're sort of setting yourself up for failure with the way College of Idaho moves the ball. I'm not sure there are going to be that many additional turnovers. And you got to force enough turnovers from it to counteract, to offset at least, if not still come out ahead in the aggregate as compared to the number of open layups you're going to end up conceding. And I think against the Yotes, as compared to most teams, that number is higher. Woodall wanted a lob from Fielder, didn't get it. Fielder thought about a long one. Underneath Woodall, power dribble and 2. Morgan got Patterson in the air and was fouled. Second foul against Tougaloo in the half. Wilson on Patterson. Outside Radford. Wilson reposts. Spins baseline. Nice lefty hook off the window. Paul Wilson has 4 points to go with 5 rebounds and a couple assists. All 9 Yotes who have appeared have scored. Patterson for 3, rebounded by Morgan. Morgan, wide open triple. Was well off. He looked more confident in it on the release. Not a great three-point shooter this year, just at 25%. Fielder, tough pull-up. Rebounded by Radford, and here come the Yotes. Morgan spots up. Radford wants it himself. Tracks down his own miss. Morgan attacks. I don't know if he was going up for that or probably trying to feed it to Rogers. Either way, takes us into a timeout. College of Idaho holding at a 27-point lead with 14 and a couple to go in the game. College of Idaho very nearly doubled up LSU Shreveport on Monday. The Yotes won the game 98-50, 2 points off double. And well, they're doubling up Tougaloo right now. It's 54-27 with 14:02 to go in our second half. Game 1 of 4 in Kansas City today. Nate Gatter back with you. Thanks for joining us, the NAIA Network and YouTube. Morgan cut off by Patterson in a foul. Patterson, third personal foul. Only 7 have been called in the whole game against Tougaloo, but Patterson has 3 of them. He's going to stay out there. There's really no point in trying to protect anybody at this stage, down 27. Tougaloo needs everything to go right the rest of the way. Radford trying to lob it to Wilson. That was ill-advised. Patterson in the way for an easy steal. Antoine Beans, tough 3, make it a 2, of course. Even when Tougaloo hits a tough outside shot, it's only a 2. Underneath, all the way in for the layup. Just his second bucket. He's only tried 2 shots in the field. Caden Handren. You can almost not notice him if you only look at the box score. You notice him if you watch the game, though. Woodall spins on Wilson. Nice finish. It's a shame for Tougaloo that more of these threes haven't gone down, because there were a few minutes there in the first half, especially when they initially fell behind and then had that little comeback where it looked like maybe they were going to push College of Idaho a bit more. Oh, look at Wilson. He did a little misdirection, looking the wrong way, and a blocking foul on Darian Pierce Jr. How about the 7-footer, Paul Wilson? He had options. I thought he was going to try to kick it maybe for a 3 on that left wing. He had Radford over there. Look at this. He's been watching YouTube videos. Little look toward Handren. Almost something resembling a little Euro, a little cut there on his last step. Paul Wilson's playing point guard tomorrow. Or I guess we're off tomorrow, Friday. He misses both though, and Woodall the rebound. Woodall off the mark. Patterson taps the rebound nearly to himself, but Wilson intervened. Morgan whistles it underneath for Rogers. That looked more like the first half College of Idaho offense. 27-point lead again with a dozen to go. Montana Tech and OUAZ next up. The 4 against the 7 in the Kramer for the right to play the winner of this game, which looks like it's going to be the right to play the #1 overall seed, unanimous #1 team in the NAIA. There's a 3 for Bean, so he's hit a couple of times from the outside. That's just the second 3-pointer that's gone down the entire game out of 20 attempts for Tougaloo. Radford corner triple. Bean stumbles and a foul on Stratton Rogers. Paul Wilson checks out, gets a hand. Tyler Robinette back on for College of Idaho. Beans attacks all the way, throws the lob for Woodall. Easy penetration. And a beautifully executed lob on the back door. Robinette on Woodall, down on the block. Robinette's been very efficient today. Couldn't get that one, and Stratton Rogers called for fouling Patterson on the rebound. Go back to that Beans lob up for Woodall on the baseline. Just splits Morgan and Radford. That forced Robinette to step up, and there was really not a lot left on the back end of that Yotes defense. Woodall tried to lob it in for Patterson, and another foul called on Rogers. He's picking him up quickly. That's 3 on Rogers now. In the span of what, 2 minutes maybe? Patterson underneath, or I should say Copeland in traffic, and he's fouled. Cameron Copeland will go back to the free throw line. He is 0 for 7 from the field, all 3-pointers. You know, actually, I think they missed in the official stats a 2-point shot as well from him. He had a floater that didn't go. So he's 0 for 8 from the field. 1 of 2 in his earlier trip to the free throw line. This has not been a good day for Copeland. Senior from Toledo. 82% foul shooter this year. So Montana Tech and OUAZ coming up next. That game, as it stands, actually might start around on time at 3 Central. We'll see. Then at 5 o'clock, top seed in the Dewar Quadrant, Grace against 3rd seeded Georgetown. And the nightcap, another number 1 Arizona Christian and number 2 Indiana Tech. Lob for Robinette is too tall. 8th College of Idaho turnover. Be off tomorrow, and then the Fab 4 on Friday. Back to the NAIA network at 5 and 7 Central Time before Saturday night. We play for a national title. Timeout on the floor with 10:27 to play in our second half. Tougaloo has cut it down to 21 points. College of Idaho in front, and a timeout called by the Yotes. Colby Blaine's College of Idaho Yotes lead by 21 with 10.5 to go in our second half this afternoon. Game 1 of 4 today in KC. Nate Gatterbeck with you along with our fantastic crew. On game 9 of 12 in a 3-day stretch, they've been doing a great job. And that's off the hands of Beans and out of bounds. The Yotes get it back. You never want to get ahead of yourself, and you never know what can happen, but it is just difficult to see how this path doesn't end, at least with College of Idaho in the championship game. Montana Tech deserves credit for beating William Penn. Morgan gets to the rim and scores. I think it's pretty clear, though, if you watch that game on Monday night, that from a standpoint of how they match up against College of Idaho, I think William Penn would have been much more difficult for the Yotes in the Fab 4 than Montana Tech would be, or OUAZ. Copeland got it, plus the foul, his first field goal, and he's headed back to the line. Cameron Copeland finally getting going. Hope for his sake that he can have a few baskets here to feel good about this down the stretch. Foul goes, I think, on Charles Elsie. Does indeed. That's his third. A 20-point game with 9 3/4 to go. Now the 2 number 1 seeds left on the other side could be a different story. They could potentially give the Yotes a bigger problem. Obviously Arizona Christian can, because the Firestorm beat the Yotes back in November and only lost for College of Idaho this year. O'Neal backs in over Fielder and he scores. Then a quiet second half for Jake O'Neal. In fact, that's his first bucket since the break. He has 18 and 8. Fielder 3. Woodall rebound. In the end, it's Patterson who pulled it in, and he goes down hard, holding his left ankle. Antonio Patterson has been really good in this game, particularly in that first half. He was unconscious when he first came in off the bench. He's in some pain. Pointing down in his left ankle. He checks out. Darryl Jones is back on for Tougaloo. Elsie out of the corner. Wouldn't go down. Rebound way up in the air. That was probably 25, 30 feet off the floor at its apex. Beans lobs it down for Jones. He's double in the baseline. Falling out of bounds. What a steal by Wyman to catch it cleanly with two hands. 4 on 2. O'Neal has to avoid an offensive foul and gets to the rim. That was really the only thing. A charge was just about all that could have stopped the Yotes at that point. 20 points for Jake O'Neal. Even though he's missed 3 free throws. Copeland, tough shot, he got it. Cameron Copeland's starting to get going. He has 7 points. Robinette doubled in the corner. Wyman gets it out to O'Neal, and Morgan can reset. Wyman pretty much wide open at the elbow. That's a little too easy, but a good contest in the end by Jones. Copeland, that was a really tough shot. Jones has the offensive rebound, goes back up. He's stripped by Robinette. Another chance for Tougaloo. Jones again, powers up and scores. 3 tries for the Bulldogs. Jones gets the 3rd one to go. Robinette skips it out to Morgan. Elsie turns and connects. Six points for Charles Elsie. 3 from Copeland. Still can't get it to go from deep. Wyman scores. Back out to a 24-point College of Idaho lead. Wyman has 8 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I think Jake O'Neal is probably locked up player of the game, but Drew Wyman certainly an honorable mention. Beans knocked out of his hands and a foul on Morgan. That's the 2nd personal foul on Samaje Morgan, who's had a really nice game off the bench as well. 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Line change for the Yotes. Morgan's going to be the only one to stay on. Wyman, Robinette, Elsie, and O'Neal check out. Handren, Rogers, Wilson, and Radford are on. Meanwhile, Pierce returns for Tougaloo in place of Copeland. Fielder also sits down with Brunt in for him. Rebound by Rogers. I wouldn't think that's the last we'll see of Copeland and Fielder. Still 6 and change to go. But I would think with their season's coming to a close here, they'd probably rather be on the floor. Yotes moving the ball deliberately. Morgan on the pull-up. Wilson the rebound over top of Henyard. Radford, Morgan, triple. This time Henyard resists Wilson and a foul called against College of Idaho. I think it's going to go on Stratton Rogers, in which case it's his 4th. No, they got it on Wilson. They put it on, well, that can't be right. They put it on Drew Wyman, who's sitting on the bench. It's on Stratton Rogers, so that's what I thought. We got 1-on-1. So Rogers has 4 fouls all since halftime. Well, they have him on the board only with 3. So either way. Henyard gets both. The first 2 points for the area is Henyard, who had a big first half on Monday. Helped keep Tougaloo in the game when St. Thomas looked the better team for at least the first 20, maybe the first 30 minutes of that game. Pull up, Morgan. Not a great three-point shooter, but when Morgan gets just 1 step in there, even off the dribble, he is really effective. At 12 to 16-foot range. Blast out off Henyard. Woodall coming on for Tougaloo. He replaces Henyard. Senior sitting down with 5:18 to go. Not the way Tougaloo wanted this one to go, not the way LSU Shreveport wanted things to go on Monday against College of Idaho either. It's just the nature of the beast playing the Yotes right now. Or really almost any time this year. Morgan. Rogers the follow. How about that from Stratton Rogers? Pierce knocked away by Morgan out of bounds. That takes us into our final break with 4:48 to go in the game, and College of Idaho up 72-46. Stratton Rogers, wow. Samaje Morgan couldn't get it. Stratton Rogers could. There's going to be a technical foul also called against College of Idaho. We'll clean it up when we get back. 26-point lead for the Yotes. Take a look at the bracket. The good news for you is all 4 of these quarterfinals are today. College of Idaho leads by 26 with just under 5 minutes to go in our first. We have another one coming up, Montana Tech and OUAZ, looking like they might get underway right about on time at 3 o'clock Central. Top seed Grace, 3rd seeded Georgetown to follow, and then number 1 Arizona Christian, number 2 Indiana Tech in our final game this evening. Trajan Fielder shooting the technical free throws. A technical was assessed to Samaje Morgan for College of Idaho as the teams were going to the benches for the break. Fielder connects on both, and Tougaloo will keep possession. Morgan's been good, and luckily for him, that tee is not going to cost College of Idaho. It does not appear. Copeland looking for Woodall. LZ ends up with it. LZ all the way to the rim. Didn't get the foul. Rogers did, though, on the follow-up attempt. Stratton Rogers cleaning up a lot underneath. And he will go to the free throw line, where he's a 55% shooter this year. Sophomore from Eagle, Idaho. You know, Kobe Blaine's got to be looking for things at this point to be frustrated about. His team won by 48 on Monday, and they're up 25 in the NAIA quarterfinal when the other teams are good. He's still finding a way to shake his head over there. Got to admire that. That one rattles in for Cameron Copeland. Still not a 3. But at least he's gotten to see the ball go in a few times. College of Idaho is 4 of 10 at the free throw line, by the way. So that is something to shake your head about, I suppose, from Kobe Blaine's standpoint. A Radford 3. You wonder if it could ever matter. It's almost hard watching these first two games to imagine a scenario where any team stays with the Yotes. But again, Arizona Christian has done it. Fielder goes over Wilson, offensive foul. How about that? A 7-footer taking a charge. Kobe Blaine likes that. Paul Wilson's done a lot of non-7-footer things. He had that drive with the no-look fake, taking a charge on a guard. Got to be careful at 7 feet too. He takes a lot of space to get to the ground. He needs a lot of open space in the paint as he's falling backwards. 23-point lead for the Yotes, 3.5 to go. LZ snakes his way to the rim. Wilson follows up. Neither one went down. LZ again. This time it drops. Probably the most difficult shot of the three, and that's the one that goes in. LZ has 8. Jake O'Neal, the only Yote in double figures with 20. Nobody else has more than 8 points. Copeland, oh my goodness, contorting his body. What a finish by Cameron Copeland. He's 0 for 9 from three-point range, but he hasn't let it shake him at the offensive end. 13 points down for Copeland to lead Tougaloo. LZ caught in the air a little bit, but he found Stratton Rogers. Second time Rogers been hanging on the rim in the second half. 2.5 to go. It's a 25-point College of Idaho lead. So this is going to be a 34th straight win for the Yotes. Fielder off the mark, rebounded by Brunt. Copeland attacks again, goes up. That should be a block, and it is. Count the basket. Copeland has 15 points, 14 of them in the second half, and he'll go to the free throw line. So a 34th straight win for College of Idaho as the benches get cleared out now. Maybe more impressively, it's going to be the 16th in a row by double digits. With a handful of those by 40 points or more. And their last handful of games, they've just been dominant. 31-point win in their conference championship game to win the Cascade. Inside, counted plus a foul. Whit Miller, the redshirt freshman from Boise, will have a chance at a three-point play. And then here in Kansas City, a 48-point win in the round of 16 and a 24-point quarterfinal lead with 2:09 to go. Cameron Copeland is going to check out for likely the final time in his Tougaloo career. Darian Pierce Jr. comes on for him. Copeland excellent on Monday. Good again in the second half today. The shot just would not go down for the senior from Toledo. We've said it for a few teams already, right? This is, everybody's good at this point. There's a foul on Tyler Harris that sends Woodall to the free throw line. No shame in losing at this stage. I'm sure for Tougaloo to lose in this fashion by this many points does not feel good, especially a team that's only lost one game all season prior to this one. At the same time, they're setting up to lose by roughly half what Shreveport did on Monday to the Yotes. And I don't think it's out of the question that College of Idaho proceeds to win the national title without anybody getting within single digits. I know it could be Arizona Christian in the championship game. There's a scenario where that works out and ACU beat the Yotes back in November. I just don't see it. So I don't think Tougaloo has to feel any shame in that. Patterson for three. He has 14. That's his first bucket of the second half. St. Clair on the move. Cooper. Andra, the only starter still on the floor, just orchestrating things for a deeper bench lineup out there for the Yotes at the moment. St. Clair left it short. Woodall the other way. Patterson triggers another one, and he's fouled by Handren. So Patterson will have free throws with 74 seconds to go. But all of that is to say that Tougaloo deserves obviously a ton of credit for a phenomenal season. You don't just show up and win 32 games. But hopefully, again, as the sting of this one wears off in the days and weeks to come, they can all look back on this not only as a great season, but as even a pretty good effort today. You know, it feels sort of like what we were talking about again with Jamestown yesterday. The Bulldogs are 3 of 24 from three-point range today. That's 12.5%. They typically shoot 34%, which would be making about 8 out of 24. So that's an extra 5 three-pointers. You add 15 points to this score, and it's a 4-point game. Now, it's not as simple as that, and College of Idaho deserves some credit for forcing some difficult shots and lowering that percentage a little bit by its own efforts. So I'm not saying this has all been about Tougaloo not shooting well. But I think there's a way you look at this for the Bulldogs and say, you know, we played better defense substantially than Shreveport did. Didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. Didn't give this game away. What made this game go from a loss for Tougaloo and a difficult effort, St. Clair for 3, and it goes down, from a difficult effort and a loss for Tougaloo to a blowout, was that they shot really, really poorly from 3. And that just, sometimes that's how it goes in a single elimination tournament. Elbow jumper is good. First shot here in Kansas City for Tyler Crump. Cooper crosses over, stepped on the sideline. So at least one more shot for Tougaloo here. Copeland, Fielder, Beans. It's a tough pill to swallow at the moment. You can understand that. Officials stop things. The clock maybe started too early there. Oh, we have a technical foul. An administrative technical. I could only imagine that's either that they just checked in a player who wasn't listed on the book that they handed, or that the player was listed with the wrong number. Cooper is going to shoot. It was the wrong number for one of the players who checked in. It just won on the administrative technical, and Cooper missed it. So, all for naught. Jamal Wiley checked in. He's normally number 20. That's how he's listed in the book and how he's listed on the official roster. He's wearing 14. So that was the administrative technical. Offensive rebound by Tougaloo. They have a couple guys wearing numbers that they're not listed with on the official roster. Who knows who number 24 is? Free throws coming up. Tyler Crump is going to shoot. The College of Idaho will advance to play at 5 o'clock Central Time on Friday in the Fab Four. And the Yotes will await the winner of our next game, which should be starting pretty much right on time at 3 o'clock Central Time. 4th seeded Montana Tech, 7th seeded OUAZ will get the privilege of trying to find a way to topple the #1 overall team in the NAIA on the top overall seed in this tournament. A 17-point win for the Yotes. After a 48-point win on Monday, they march on their 34th consecutive victory, the 16th in a row by double digits. An admirable effort by Tougaloo, but just too much College of Idaho in the end, and the Yotes pulled away for another comfortable win, and they move on to the Fab Four. Let's go back to the bracket one more time. You know College of Idaho is moving on. First team in our Fab Four Friday. And the winner of Montana Tech OUAZ coming up next will advance to face them. Grayson, Georgetown, Arizona Christian, Indiana Tech, all of them playing for the right to get to the championship game where they very well might see the College of Idaho on Saturday night. So we'll step aside and be back with you at 3 o'clock Central Time. Number 4, Montana Tech. Number 7, OUAZ, looking for that second spot in the Fab Four. Tougaloo had a lead about 10 minutes into the game. It evaporated. College of Idaho went out to a 20-point lead. At halftime, it grew to nearly 30 during the second half, and the Yotes win comfortably by 17. For our crew in Kansas City, Nate Gatter saying, see ya in a moment. 3 more games still to come on quarterfinal Wednesday at Municipal Auditorium. College of Idaho, the first team into the 2023 Fab Four. They win it by 17.